Hey girl, are your healthy habits all over the place or non existent? Do you wish you could find true food freedom, move your body for joy, and really just talk a little nicer to yourself? If you have tried to habit hack your health, but the strategies you've tried just haven't worked for you in your busy lifestyle, then this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Emily Nichols, habit and fitness coach, behavior change specialist, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I am here to tell you there is an easier way than what we've been taught about our health and our habits. How do I know? Well, because I've transformed my own life through habit hacking, and now my family gets the best of me, and I now help my clients do the same. I'm now going to teach you how to create healthy habits in less time, guilt-free for all seasons of your life. It's not your fault your habits haven't worked, my friend. We just have to do them differently. So, are you ready to feel empowered and transform your habits and life? Then let's do this. Hey gang, welcome back to Habit Hack Thursday. We are talking about movement today, my favorite fundamental need. And I think the reason why it's my favorite is because it's such an unconscious habit for me now. I don't have to track it. I don't have to really think about it anymore. It's just something that is just fluidly ingrained in my day. Now, it's not to say that if I start a new workout program or my schedule changes, I don't have to really, sit back and not think about, how I'm going to habit hack this. But it's become so ingrained into who I am and my habit identity. And that's where I want you to get to the point with a couple of healthy habits, either around mindset, movement, or food freedom, where it doesn't feel hard anymore. Like it doesn't feel like you're dieting or anything like that. It just feels like you're training for life and taking care of yourself. And this is just one of the things you do, just like brushing your teeth. I feel like movement is like that for me now. I want you to get to that point as well. And one of the ways you can do that if you are just beginning your own healthy habit journey is to think about tracking your workouts. Now, you've noticed we have been talking about tracking on our Habit Hack Thursday episodes. Last week, we talked about should you track your food. We're talking about tracking your workouts this week. And next week, you can kind of guess we'll be talking about tracking mindset habits as well. The reason being is next week during the Healthy Habit Reset Live, we are launching our first digital habit tracker. You guys have been asking for this. It is going to be via Google Sheets. It's going to be beautiful. I'm so freaking pumped to do it. Everyone who has an accelerator or getting the accelerator moving forward, my signature program, oh my gosh, you have a special habit tracker coming your way as well. I'm so excited for y'all. But come join us in the Healthy Habit Reset next week. It's August 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be going live every day at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you're like, girl, I'm working during that time or I just cannot, no worries. Make sure to sign up because you'll get a worksheet and you'll also get the replays as well. And I go live for about 20 minutes or less. Bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm done. So the first day, I'm going to unveil my 5-step habit change method. This is habit strategy 101. If you're listening and you're like, where do I start with my habits? It's this. Okay, it's this. And it's so simple that I want you to get to the point where the system becomes an unconscious habit as well. Day 2 will be debunking diet culture because as women, we have to do habits differently when it comes to our health and in particular, because of diet culture. And then lastly, day number 3, we'll be talking about some consistency, accountability hacks, such as tracking, for example, and giving you a special discount code to get that new habit tracker from the shop for being so kind for joining us for the Healthy Habit Reset Live. So this is my masterclass. It's available all year round. You've probably taken it before if you've been a long-time listener. I hope it's helpful. It's great to go through it live or watch the live replays as well, because I'll be able to answer your questions in live time, or if you join the Facebook group, I can answer your questions later as well. But it really allows you to take a step back, rein back in what season of life that you're in, and pivot your habits. Because I think a lot of times we go into a new season of life or our schedule changes. A lot of folks, this time of year, kids are going back to school and your schedule gets thrown upside down. And a month later, you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten an actual sit down meal or even walked and moved my body, right? So This is going to help you, girl. So it's linked in the show notes. Make sure to sign up to get all those extra goodies. So, like I said, keeping with the theme of last week's habit hack and talking about tracking, we're going to be talking about the benefits of tracking your workouts. This is so like a big accountability habit hack. And in many ways, it's going to make your workout stick. Okay. Now, inside of, I mentioned our accelerator programs. So this is my signature program. I have 3 of them. One focused around movement, one mindset, one food freedom, or you bundle all 3 together. Most folks usually bundle all 3 together. But inside of the movement accelerator, we chat a lot more about the importance of weight training for women, taking rest days, and really defining movement differently than what we have grown up thinking. Hence why women have to do habits differently, right? We're not working out to punish our bodies. We're not working out to be a certain size. The physical side effects, if you will, benefits are just a cherry on top, a guac on top of your taco, if you will, or queso, whatever floats your boat. For me, it's about the mental and emotional and the happy endorphins that run through your body. We want to rethink health and especially fitness and movement differently. So you can track so many different things when it comes to working out, not just like tracking like, yep, I did it. You could track the number of reps you were doing on a particular exercise. You can track the weights used. But also what I think is really important to know is to track how you felt maybe before and then after your workout. Like that's a habit loop in itself, right? Really thinking in the end, like, gosh, I feel so good. Like, trust me, like nod your head yes. I'm imagining I'm talking to you right now, face to face. Nod your head yes. After a workout, do you usually feel a little better? Yes. We do. And because it's science, it's our hormones, it's all those happy endorphins, but also you're proud of yourself for just actually doing the dang thing. But tracking is such a great accountability piece to help you do this. There will be a movement tab on the habit tracker to help you track your working out, your movement. But I think there's a couple of ways we can talk about this. So we're going to talk about a couple of reasons why you should track your workouts. We're going to talk about how you can track your workouts. And next, we're going to be talking about maybe the cons of tracking your workouts and give you a couple habit loops. So let's talk about it. So why should you track your workouts? Well, it's progress monitoring, right? It allows you to see how you're improving over time, and that's super motivational. Like your pace went up if you're running. You were able to lift heavier weights. You're able to look at that data and see trends, set realistic goals. Like if you're trying to work out in the morning and that's just not working out, maybe you need to habit hack it at the end of your day. It's just data, but it also reason number 2 is that it gives you a lot of motivation. It's so motivating to see your progress on a habit tracker and checking it off. Like, girl, it feels so good. Like it's the saying, like, you know, when you write your to-do list and you write something down that you already did just to like cross it off and feel proud of yourself. It's the same thing. But also you can identify plateaus. Maybe you feel really stuck right now and not very like into your workouts. You can identify plateaus because you're like, well, maybe I'm just not enjoying it anymore. And of course, accountability, right? We just talked about that. It helps you stay consistent and committed. Now, how can you track it? Pen to paper is great. We have a lot of printable. We actually have a workout tracker that is a printable version inside of the Habit Hack shop now. What I recommend with all printable trackers, hang it on your fridge. Ooh, girl, your family sees that. It's a visual reminder. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? But it gives you that extra sense of accountability. There's fitness apps. You know, a lot of us use our watches. A lot of us use those iWatch to close those rings and to track that data. Or there's apps, you know, workout apps that help you stay accountable as well. Spreadsheets like what I have coming out for you that will be mobile friendly, and just kind of choose what works for you. You know, maybe pen to paper works better for you, but maybe you need something on the go where you can check in your phone. Now let's talk about the cons of tracking your workouts. Like overemphasis on data, right? You can get really fixed on those numbers and data, and maybe that can stress you out a little bit more. Or if you're not seeing progress as fast as you wanted to, that can be frustrating, and maybe that demotivates you and you stop working out. Potential for obsession. We talked about this last week on tracking your food. For some individuals, tracking your workouts can be obsessive and just lead to unhealthy behaviors, like constantly checking your metrics, feeling guilty for missing a workout, or pushing yourself too hard to make up for a workout you missed like the day before. No, loss of enjoyment. Like you're just not into it. You just feel like you have to do it now just to check it off your list. Dependency on technology. We're going to talk about this in a couple of habit loops, but I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, did I close my rings? Or seeing my friends want to close their rings. I even remember a girl coming into one of my classes before, and she had a shirt about like closing all her rings, and it made me laugh, but it's true. Sometimes we can get really obsessed with that data, and we will push ourselves a little too hard, and it could cause injuries. It could cause demotivation, not wanting to work out anymore. And then lastly, it's time consuming. Like, unless you're using a really simple app like a really simple spreadsheet like we have coming out, or just like something where you can hang on your fridge and just boop, check it off. Again, it can be super time consuming. I honestly think tracking your food is even more time consuming, but depending on what you're tracking, this can be very time consuming. Now, this is a very personal decision for you, and what is triggering for you and what is not. That's the beauty of habit hacking. It's personal to you, and you take what works for you and take what doesn't work for you and push that one aside. Now let's talk about a couple habit loops. I can't leave you hanging without a couple of those. And we're going to specifically talking about closing your rings. If you don't have an iWatch and you don't know what I'm talking about, so let me pull mine up because I have my 3 rings on my home screen. So there's like your calories burned for the day, your minutes of activity, and minutes standing, like movement for the day. Now we talking about, different ways to get in various movement throughout the day, habit hacking this without it being like exercise or like a chore inside of the movement habits accelerator. But let's habit hack and give you a couple habit loops around closing your ring. So let's talk about it as a pro first. I think it's great because the cue I get on my watch is it dings or vibrates to move. It's a really great reminder, especially all of us are usually stuck behind our laptops all day. It's a really great reminder to get your booty up. The routine is maybe you take a lap around your office, maybe you take a lap around your house. I personally like to go outside if the weather is good. I go pet my dog while I'm outside because he'll usually follow me out there. And the reward on the other side is like, wow, I feel really great moving my body and I feel accomplished. Simple as that. Now the con for this, if this is becoming really obsessive for you, the cue is still the same, like ding, it reminds you, but maybe it's reminding you that you haven't closed your rings. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Like, you haven't closed your movement ring. There's still time, and it's like 8 p.m. at night, and it's like, I'm done. But then how many of us would actually go like, well, I'm going to go hop on my Peloton, or I'm going to walk a bunch of laps around my house to get to 10K steps for the day, right? The routine then is you feel bad. You feel bad. Like you haven't closed your workout ring, maybe you needed that rest day. Maybe today it just wasn't in your capacity. So the new routine is like, okay, I'm just going to get up and walk around. Or the new routine is turn that notification off and say, okay, well, I'll just try again tomorrow. The reward on the other side is you feel good regardless, right? You feel good regardless. If that is very triggering for you, turn off the notifications, get rid of closing the 3 rings, and just move your body in whatever way feels good for you. Tracking is such a awesome tool and can give you so much motivation. However, I don't want it to become an obsessive thing where it goes overboard. This is really great, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the episode, as you are starting a movement healthy habit, to track it, to see what's working. It's data for you. And what happens when you start tracking, you'll notice maybe 90 days later, you're like, oh, I'm not really tracking that anymore, but I'm still doing it. It's because ding, 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 it is an unconscious habit and you are feeling good. I love it so much. So friends, we'll dig deeper into this next week in the Healthy Habit Reset Live. I can't wait. Everything's linked in the show notes for you, my friends. I'll see you later next week. Hey girl, real quick before you go, did you know I have a secret podcast where I talk all about why most habit strategies don't work for us women? Spoiler alert, it's not our fault. Visit bit.ly/atomic habits for women. It's linked in the show notes to access my secret podcast series and have your biggest aha moment about why and how women have to do habits differently. And if you love the podcast, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way more mamas can find the show. Love and appreciate you, friend. We'll see you next time.